to Mary ASMR. Today, as you can probably tell, we are doing all things Wicked themed. So I'm going to be doing a soft-spoken kind of ramble while I tap on some Wicked themed items. So obviously the first thing that I have to show y'all is my Wicked jacket. It's not very subtle merchandise, I'll say that, but I really like it. It's got this green detailing. And these green drawstrings. And the hood also has like green details, which I'm not sure you can really see. I did get this jacket when the musical was touring. They came to my city and my boyfriend and I went as like a birthday present to me. And he bought me this jacket as well as a gift. It was honestly a little expensive. I think it was like over $80, but I think that's pretty typical for concert merchandise and like live tour merchandise. But I really, really love it. And it's got Elphaba on her broom over the eye. I think that was my second or third time seeing the musical live. I've been a fan since I was little. I actually had a friend who burned a CD with the original Broadway cast recording on it, and that's how I listened to the songs for the first time. So that was with the original cast, so Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth, who will forever be my Elfie and Galinda. But I do think Ariana and Cynthia did a wonderful job. Now, of course, we have to talk about the original work, which is the book Wicked by Gregory Maguire. And I have this beautiful hardback edition. Just look at those details. It's got golden edges, which you can't really see too much on the camera. You can see my little tabs because I actually read this at the beginning of the year after seeing the first movie. And I think anyone who's read the book knows that it's very different from the musical and consequently different from the movie. There's a lot of more philosophical and religious aspects in the book. It is more adult, I would say, so I kind of think it's interesting that they've reprinted the copies of the book with the movie cover on it, because I feel like a lot of little girls are going to want to read it because, you know, Ariana Grande's on the cover, but hopefully they'll wait till they're a little older. I did read both Wicked and Son of a Witch, or rather I read the first one and then I listened to the audiobook for Son of a Witch. They both are very odd, but they are very interesting. It's a very interesting world, and the more you learn about kind of the different religious beliefs and the different ways that the government operates, it does get pretty interesting. I can show you all the spine as well. And then the back, which has this stunning like illustration of I think he's the time clock dragon. I can't remember the actual name, I did forget what he's called. I think he's the time clock dragon. I can't remember. If I remember, I'll put a little like comment on the bottom that says the correct name. I will say the dragon doesn't have any importance in the movie, it seems. They don't really mention him. They just say clock tick 1,000 times. But I think it would have been interesting to delve into this, but like I said, if the movie's based off of the musical, and the musical is very different from the book. And then, of course, I have the DVD. I'm realizing now these are all gifts from my boyfriend, so the jacket, the book, and the DVD were all presents from him during different holidays. So thank you for him. I think we're all familiar with the movie by now. It was kind of a global sensation, but I don't know if it's actually streaming anywhere. I knew I wanted the DVD because that way you can just watch it whenever you want, regardless of what streaming service you have. Maybe it's on Amazon Prime. I have no idea. Since I have the DVD, this is just what I rely on every time I want to watch the movie. And this is, of course, the first part, so Wicked Part 1. I don't know if Wicked for Good has physically come out yet. I don't think it has. I will say I watched a lot of the deleted scenes that are included in this, and there's a lot that I wish they had kept. I know it's already like a 3.5 hour long movie, but there are some scenes that just felt really pivotal for the characters and their relationships, and I'm kind of surprised that they cut some of those out. Now for Wicked Part 2, which is Wicked for Good, I did see that in theaters. I saw both of these in theaters, but for this most recent one, I saw it on the opening Friday that it came out. We saw it in IMAX. It was a 10 o'clock showing, so we got out of the theater at like midnight, but I think it was worth it. And I don't know if this is a popular or unpopular opinion, but I didn't really like the original songs. I usually never like when movie musicals add songs. I feel like they just never sound like they were in the original, and maybe that's not the vibe they're going for, but like Girl in the Bubble and No Place Like Home, they just didn't like really make an impact on me. I feel like they're very on the nose. But that's just my opinion. If you like the songs, I totally understand. I just personally wasn't a big fan of them. But I did think that both of these actresses did a really good job. And I think Jonathan Bailey was a great Fiyero. I know people have conflicting opinions about Michelle Yeoh. I liked her in the first movie. I think her singing did leave something to be desired in the second movie, but luckily she doesn't sing that much anyways in the movie, so we'll let it slide. And then because I love a gimmick and because I'm a consumer, I did go to Dunkin' Donuts and I did get the Munchkins tin. I just thought it was really cute. And like I said, I'm a sucker for a gimmick. So this is the like collab that Wicked did with Dunkin' Donuts. So you can get a little tin with a bunch of munchkins in it. And it does say certification made in Oz. Like I said, I'm just a consumer and I love when they do little collaborations like that. So I think it's really cute. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with it. I'll probably just keep little trinkets and stuff in here, but I just really like the appearance. And you can see Glinda and Elphaba. I do think this movie, this whole like phenomenon has really made me appreciate the color combination of pink and green, which I used to really not care for, to be honest. But I'm a sucker for the green and black more so. Okay, and then the next item is also a gift, but I don't think it's as commonly seen when you see Wicked merchandise, and that's because my parents got this for me when they went to Universal Studios in Florida. And it is just a Wicked mug. I don't know how well you can see the design, but it's really cute. And I didn't even know that Universal Studios sold Wicked merch. You would think they would kind of advertise that a little bit more, but also I don't have the money to go to Universal Studios right now, so even if I wanted to, I couldn't have gone. But I've already used this mug a lot for my coffee. You can see there's a little Dr. Dillamond on there. And it has kind of different scenes from the movie. So we've got Glinda in her little bubble. We've got Elphaba and Glinda kind of confronting each other. Oh, and then we have when Elphaba first goes to shiz in a little boat. It's kind of hard to see that one, but it's overall just very cute. And then I did get the like special cup. I don't really know what the term is, but they just had these like limited time cups for when you go see the movie. That's where they put your drink in. I think there were different designs. I think there was this one, which has both Elphaba and Glinda on it. And then there was a Glinda cup and then an Elphaba cup. I don't like having to choose between the two, so I just got one with both of them on it. Oh, and actually, it says it came out November 21st, so maybe I'm not too late to the game. And it says Wicked for Good on it, and it's just like the movie poster. Like I said, we went to the 10 o'clock showing, and before that, we actually did go to Chili's, and we got the $6 margaritas, which if you don't know, they had $6 margaritas, and one was like Elphaba themed and the other was Glinda themed, and they each came with either like a little wand or a broomstick, and I don't know where mine ended up being, but I did get one, and one was green and one was pink. I will say I tried both of them at separate times. The Glinda one was really good, but the Elphaba one, that one was really good, but when they gave it to me, it was really strong. So I was feeling it in the chilies. And then to go with the cup, they let you pick a cup topper, and it looks really goofy now that I look at it, but at the time I was like, absolutely yes, I would like one. And it did cost extra, and like I said, I'm a sucker for this kind of thing, so, but there is some fake snow on her because I've ended up putting her on our Christmas tree, but it's just a little Elphaba figurine, and you could pick again between Glinda and Elphaba. And I thought Elphaba looked really cool, so I picked her. And my sister-in-law got Glinda. But we've got her little broom. You can see her little green skin. I think it's a general consensus that everyone likes the first half of Wicked more than the second half. Just the songs and just the whole like vibe of them like becoming friends, I think, is really iconic. But I did like the second movie. During the first third of the movie, I was a little unsure of how I felt about it, because I felt like they added a lot of stuff that wasn't in the musical, which makes sense because it's a movie, but I'm always a little skeptical again about the musical to movie changes. So I was a little skeptical at first, but I did end up really liking the second movie, and I think what really like did it for me was during, oh my god, what was the song called? Oh, it was No Good Deed. I thought that was really good. I really liked Cynthia Erivo's version. I mean, I don't think I'll ever prefer the movie version to the original cast, because that's just what I grew up with and that's just what I'm used to. But I do think that they did a really good job. So that was all my Wicked themed kind of merchandise. It's not like a large amount, but it still, I think, just shows how much of a Wicked consumer I was, which is a little embarrassing. But I do think a lot of their stuff is just really aesthetically pleasing. Like the black and the green, obviously. I think it's a really good look. But anyways, now we can actually move on to Christmas themed videos. But thank you so much for joining me. This was my first time doing a soft-spoken video rather than a whispered video. So let me know what you think. I know everyone prefers different things. But I had a lot of fun, and thank you so much for joining me on my little corner of the internet, and I will see you next time.